I used to believe that life would eventually figure itself out, that with enough time, things would fall into place on their own. I waited for clarity, for confidence, for motivation to show up. But when I entered my 30s, I realized a hard truth: time doesn't fix confusion. If anything, it makes it louder. And that realization changed how I looked at my life. In my 20s, I depended heavily on motivation. When I felt inspired, I worked hard. When I didn't, I told myself I'd start tomorrow. Days turned into months, and months quietly turned into years. I wasn't lazy, but I wasn't consistent either. I kept hoping the right mindset would arrive before I took action. In my 30s, I understood that waiting was costing me more than failure ever could. That's when I discovered the discipline that transformed everything. It wasn't extreme routines or waking up at 4 in the morning. It was the discipline to act without needing to feel ready, to do the work even when my energy was low and my mind was full of doubts. I stopped asking myself how I felt and started asking what needed to be done today. At first, the change felt insignificant. Small actions don't feel powerful in the moment. Reading a few pages, learning a little every day, showing up even when no one was watching. There were days when it felt pointless, like nothing was changing at all. But I stayed with it, not because I was motivated, but because I made a promise to myself and decided to keep it. Slowly, something shifted. I began trusting myself again. Every time I followed through, even on difficult days, my confidence grew quietly. Not the loud kind of confidence that seeks attention, but the calm kind that comes from self-respect. I realized discipline wasn't about control. It was about becoming someone I could rely on. What surprised me most was how this discipline started affecting everything else. My focus improved. My decisions became clearer. I stopped overthinking and started moving forward. Life didn't suddenly become easier, but I became stronger. I learned that consistency creates clarity, and clarity creates confidence. In my 30s, I stopped chasing motivation and started building discipline. And that changed my direction completely. If there's one lesson I've learned, it's this: you don't need to feel ready to begin. You don't need perfect conditions. You just need to show up today and then do it again tomorrow. That's the discipline that transformed my 30s. And if you're willing to practice it quietly and consistently, it can transform your life too.